Hi,
everybody.
everybody. We're
First
back.
question. We are back. Can you see us and hear us?
Yes.
First question. Anyway, welcome to the Knit Chat Cafe. My name is Noelle.
I'm Kelly.
This is my friend,
Kelly.
And we're coming to you from different parts of the country. I am still on the east coast of Canada in Petite Riviere in Nova Scotia. So for a couple more days and then home. So,
and I am in Southern Ontario, Canada. We didn't say which country we're on the other side of,
Canada. We're in Canada.
Canada. And I'm still in Southern Ontario, just outside of Sarnia.
Yep. And we are a knitting podcast, and this is our Tuesday evening get together. We missed everybody last week, unfortunately, due to Hurricane Lee. When we first got to this accommodation, we didn't have any power. It actually did come on later that night, so that was nice. We didn't have too long without it, but we really didn't know when it was going to be back. So,
but what did you tell me about your little stint as a pioneer?
I said I could not have been a pioneer. I could not have been a pioneer. So I'm like, everything you want to do requires power.
Right?
Yeah.
And you have this overwhelming need to do the things as soon as you don't have the power to do it with.
That's right.
Right?
That's
like,
right.
Oh, I wish I could. Oh, I can't. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my neck light was charged, right? But then you don't want to open the fridge to get a drink. You can't. I mean, I was thinking, if this power doesn't come back on, how are we going to make coffee in the morning? So we had to find out where we had to go, if we had to go out and get coffee.
Why did you need the fridge? You drink red wine. It's not chilled.
I don't know. Ross needed it. That is true. That is true. But anyway, all worked out. And yeah, and it's actually been pretty nice weather since then. The one thing Natalie says, hope you never visit my camp. Natalie, the first two places we said didn't have dishwashers.
Oh no.
So I said roughing it for me was a place without a dishwasher. But you know what?
Absolutely.
This place has a dishwasher and we haven't used it. We've washed everything by hand. Of course, we go out for meals, but just one meal. We usually have other things here. So anyway, it's it's been beautiful. Unfortunately, not last weekend, but the weekend before, when I was supposed to go to the Woolstock East, it actually got postponed till a week later. But as it turned out, we were able to reschedule the bed and breakfast that we were going to stay in Tatamagouche for the night. We just contacted them and they actually transferred our reservation for the next weekend. So we did get to go. Or unfortunately, a few of the vendors weren't able to make it because, I mean, that's another whole week. And if you're coming from, somewhere else, you may not be able to rent whatever you need. You may have other things that were on. But all in all, I think it was only about 8 vendors that weren't able to make it.
Oh, that's very good. Very good.
Yeah. So we'll get into that a little bit more later. But so it's been almost 4 weeks and it's been good and it's been nice and relaxing and restful, but I miss everybody. I'm ready to come home.
We were talking about you on Saturday where your ears burnt. Well, no, your ears weren't burning. You were like flushed from the yarn fumes that you were at the festival. But we knit under the bridge on Saturday morning and people were asking me how you're making out. And I said, well, I think, she's having a great time, but I think you're getting a little homesick. I know not just missing us knitters. I'm sure we're prime on your missing list, but also missing your grandchildren too.
Yeah.
Because I know that's a big part of
my kids, just, it's usually
kids,
never that long when I don't see my kids. So yeah. So for that reason, it's nice to be going back home. About 3 to 4 weeks is the max that I feel like I can be away. I can't imagine going away for the whole winter.
I know, right? I know. I feel exactly the same way.
But yes. Anyway, so we do have a little bit of admin.
Okay.
We were supposed to last week draw a prize for a Sandy bag, and we didn't podcast last week because I had no power. So there was an extra week for people to get their entries in there. So just before we sat down tonight, I did pull a winner, and there were
it was for this one, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. there were 301 entries. And so the winner is Judith Mullen. And Kelly, you can read it because I can't see it.
It says, enjoyable podcast as usual. Thank you. Like so many others, I find autumn to be the most enjoyable season. The weather suits me. I enjoy the fall colors. And I think that's exactly how, probably 95% of the people feel, because everybody, who doesn't love autumn?
That's
so
right.
Congratulations, Judith. You have won this beautiful Sandy bag. And these are very spacious, very roomy, has a lovely pocket on the outside, has a zippered pocket, plus a pouch pocket on the inside, all color coordinated.
Oh,
and
that's not it.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to find the right banner.
Oh, there we go. And it even has a like a vinyl bottom too, so you don't have to worry about being afraid to put your bag down when you go to a coffee shop to knit. It's easy to wipe up. Our good friend Sandy makes these bags for our podcast, and we're very blessed to have them, and we're very blessed to have Sandy as a friend. And
yeah, I have two of them. I have two of them with me this week, so because they're the perfect bags to take to yarn festivals, and
they are perfect festival bags.
One sits in the front seat of the car when we're traveling, because I'm not really sure sometimes what I want to knit on. So you have to have a couple of projects
you
available,
bring everything,
especially for the long trips. Yeah. Yeah. So Judith, you can contact us at Knits and Pieces podcast@gmail.com. We just need your mailing address and we will get that bag in the mail to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, since we're talking about the bags, and it was 2 weeks ago, I haven't gotten the information yet from Crinkle. Sorry.
Did I thought I'll have to check if I have it. I thought I might have sent it to you, but I could be wrong. Because I will check, but if not,
Mary Ruth Shanks was the winner for the llama bag, and I don't have her contact information yet to send that bag out to her. Everything else has been shipped.
Okay, so I will check that whether I've gotten it or not. And Mary Ruth, if you haven't, if I don't have it, and oh, okay, she sent the information. Okay, I've been on vacation, so I haven't checked the emails, but I will get that to you, Kelly.
Okay, thank you.
So
good.
Okay.
Now,
who knows? I could have sent it to somebody else.
Well, let's hope not. It was Mary Ruth's information.
Well, I'll still have sister. Well, maybe somebody else sent her something too.
Okay, that would be great, and I can get that in the mail for you before the weekend. All right. Did we have any questions and answers? We also have another giveaway, but let's leave that until a little bit later, because I want to talk about something else to go along with it. It's a really good giveaway. So, did we have any questions this week?
There were.
Okay.
I had a question from someone who just finished a ranunculus and did longer sleeves, and the bicep area was too tight, and wanted to know whether she needed to rip the whole sleeves out or whether she could kind of, cut something and reattach. First thing I would try definitely would be block the crap out of it. So I would try that first. If that doesn't work, I think there's two options. You basically have to go back. You have to go back to where you picked up all the stitches that you put on hold for the sleeve, and then I would cast on more under the arm. So, and then make sure, like knit a few inches and then make sure that that is giving you enough room. The other option would be you could cut it off like about, let's say, here, right? But then you'd still have to do the same thing, go up and pick up stitches. You could knit down and you could reattach, but you would have to make sure that you decreased in here to the number of stitches that you had left for this part. And then you'd have to do a really good job of grafting to make the stitches look even. And especially, I think it's almost harder to graft on something that's a loose gauge to really get the stitches to look like they're even.
Yes.
So, okay. So she said she did block it really well. Then I think the best option is to go back, cast on extra stitches under here, do a little bit and make sure it's okay, and then knit the rest of the sleeve.
Yes.
So, and again, Lauren has said you could also go up needle size.
Go up a needle size.
It still involves going back. And if this is where it's too tight, like if it's too tight in here, unfortunately, that's where your sleeve started. That's where you kind of have to go back to. So, but that was the first question. Someone else had asked, I had said before when I'm blocking some of the things like that have got spinning oil in them that I use dish soap, and they wanted to know how long to leave it in. So depending on what the yarn is, if it's Holst, I know it can stand the water being a little bit warm. So I'll maybe do tepid water, dish soap, and I'll probably leave it in there maybe for about 20 minutes. Then I kind of rinse it out, get as much of that out as I can. And then I put it in my regular wool wash just because I want it to smell nice. So then I either put it in the Eucalan or soak for maybe 10, 15 minutes. And that doesn't have to be rinsed out, and then just kind of squeeze as much water out of it and lay it flat. But I think it probably is not really crucial how long you leave it in, as long as it's not something that you're worried about the dye bleeding onto something else. But if it's one solid color, I don't think it's going to hurt it to be in there for like a half an hour or 40 minutes or, but okay. I don't know if anybody else has experience with that.
To be truthful, sometimes too, when I'm blocking, I tend to put things in the sink and then go off to do something else. I have forgotten things. So it may have sat there for an hour and a half. It's been completely fine.
Yep. So again, the crucial thing in blocking is you don't want to leave something that's got colors in it where you've got colors that might want to bleed into something else. That's when you really want to keep a close eye on your soak water to make sure it's not, you don't see any dye in it. Okay, the next question was, again, we were talking about the 2x2, the alternating cable cast on. So I will link again, but the video that I did link actually tells you how to do it for both, whether you're doing 1x1 rib or 2x2 rib. So the only difference between the 1x1 and the 2x2 is there's an extra step when you're doing the 2x2. Just like if you're doing a tubular cast on, you basically do it for a 1x1, and then if you're doing 2x2, that first round you kind of have to realign your stitches to get the 2x2. It's the same with alternating cable cast on, but I will link that video again under this one so that you can go and take a look at it. Okay, and then someone had asked, and it might be too late for this, I don't know. They were going somewhere near Montreal or Mont Tremblant and just wondered if there were any local yarn stores. Montreal, I would think of Espace Tricot. And what was the other one we went to? La Tricot de Maison. La Maison Tricotée.
Yes. Okay. I was thinking that those words together didn't sound like a place I was at. Yes. Yes, you're right.
La Maison Tricotée. And near Mont Tremblant, I'm not sure. So I don't know if anybody else knows in there.
I'm sure Isabel, I think she's in here tonight. She will probably chime in.
Yeah.
Here we go. Or no, she's talking about blocking. I'm sure she'll chime in just a minute and give us a place to head to, but we can always come back to that.
And Mary Ruth, I will check after the podcast tonight, and I will let you know if I've got it. So
she said that she resent it. So
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And then we had mentioned, well, it was 2 weeks ago now, we had mentioned, and someone had asked about it. We had mentioned Beth McDonald Stone's new podcast. And someone said, what was the designer name? It's Beth McDonald Stone. She just has one episode out so far, but it is really good. She's an amazing designer. So go take a look at that. And again, I think I linked it under last week's, but I'll link it again under this week's. Okay. Did you have any questions?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I have to admit, I have not been, I have been hardly having time to knit again. This is 2 weeks now, so it's a good thing. Tonight, I'm just going to say, friends, tonight is the Noelle show. I am just here to occupy my half of the screen. I do have I have a finish, but I have nothing grand to show tonight. So we're just going to let Noelle shine tonight for sure.
Okay, Isabel said that there's a local yarn store in Sevier is Pure Lane. So pure wool.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
Oh, and she says that they have their own brand too, which is really nice.
Carpe Diem. Oh yeah, she was knitting with some of that. She was knitting with some of that in Montreal and in Chicago. So, and it was very nice. So, okay, so we should talk about what we're wearing before we move on.
Okay. That I can do. I have no pictures and no tag to put in because Noelle didn't let me. She said.
Well, okay, you guys, it was like 1 minute to 7.
See, even when I give her a nice compliment and tell her we're just going to let her shine tonight, she comes back all sassy.
1 minute to
Forgive
7.
me
I
for
was going on
racing into
without
the
her. I was
studio.
going on without her if she wasn't there.
I think you would have waited for me for a minute,
No, I
maybe
wouldn't. No, I
everybody.
wouldn't.
No,
I
not
wouldn't.
you, not you. I mean, everybody who's joining us tonight probably would have waited for me for a minute just to get a picture. So all you get is this. So I'm
Really,
wearing the love note.
you had 2 weeks. You had 2 weeks to put it in.
I only decided to put the sweater on about 10 minutes before I jumped down here. So yeah, I can't wait to have you back, you know, like just this positivity that you radiate towards me. It's just going to be lovely. But anyway, I'm wearing the love note. I knit the sweater, and it's by Tin Can Knits. I have a question. Is the love note on their new app that they have?
Not yet. No, there's no paid for ones on there, at least not the last time I looked at it.
Okay. So this is a sweater that ranks right up there with how people feel about the ranunculus. It is a well-loved sweater. The original pattern comes with this beautiful lace, which probably after 3 years after I knit this, I didn't even realize that these are supposed to look like hearts. I thought they were leaves, and I never understood why it was called the Love Note sweater, because I always thought they were leaves, but I do love this sweater. So I knit this one holding 2 strands together. It was a single as well as a mohair. And the interesting thing is that the single is you'll see the very light colored bits in here. And the single was that light shade of blue, but then I held it with a navy blue mohair. And this is the gorgeous way it worked out. I love this sweater. I've knit 2 love notes. I have a gold one, surprise, and this one as well. I wear them both a lot. Today was a warm day, but it just felt in the evening, it felt like it needed something just to like snuggle in. And it is a super cozy. It's not heavy. It's just a super cozy sweater. And it's a fun pattern to knit. And it's also, I would say, it's beginner friendly lace. So if you are looking to make a sweater and would want to try something that has a bit of a lace in it and you're afraid, this is not the sweater to be afraid of. This is a great sweater for some early knitters.
Yeah. And it's a pretty loose gauge, so it knits up quickly. So it's like, I think for a first sweater, it's nice to have something that you're going to finish in a shorter amount of time, just so you don't get discouraged. So it is something that looks really nice, but it's knit up in a looser gauge, so it knits up quicker. So.
And Nick says she thinks that they look like leaves as well. So
I don't think that I knew they were hearts either, to tell you the truth. So
yeah, well, I guess, I don't know, like, can you sort of see, like,
I just thought of it as a lace pattern.
Yeah, so this is, I guess this is supposed, I can't do this on camera, but this is supposed to be the shape of the heart here going down like this, right? So yeah, and all along, because I don't even know who it was that mentioned it one day, something about the hearts and the love note, and I'm thinking, aren't they leaves? I thought they were leaves, but I guess they're hearts. Okay, now see, so many people on here are now saying, what, they're hearts? I thought they were leaves too.
Well, who said they were hearts?
Maybe the person who told me they were hearts was wrong.
I was going to say, I don't know who said that. So.
All right.
Anyway. Okay. So
what are you wearing?
I am wearing Calypso by Black Cat Knitting Company. Let's see here. I do have a picture. Okay, so this is done in Queensland Kathmandu fingering is the base yarn. That is a blend of wool, silk, and a little bit of cashmere. It's a beautiful yarn to knit with. It's a fingering weight, but it's woolen spun. It's got lots of loft, so it doesn't knit up really heavy. And then my contrast color is Spin Cycle dyed in the wool, and this is the colorway that is specific to lupine yarns in Auckland, New Zealand, and I got it when I was there. And Black Cat Knitting Company is actually Alana that owns lupine, and she designed the sweater, so I thought it was appropriate to do the sweater with the yarn that's, you know, specific to her store, and it's her pattern. And I'm super happy with the way it turned out. I used pretty much every single little drop of the Spin Cycle. In fact, the neckband here is like a picot, and you knit first and then turn it over. So my inside, I didn't even do with the Spin Cycle. I did it with my base yarn because I was really worried. And it ended up, I only had like about that much left, like literally like a yard left of the yarn at the end. So it was a perfect use of the skein. I love how I love how the colors faded in it. And it was a really easy sweater to knit. Like the color work is relatively easy. You just get, it looks a little more complicated just because of the way the spin cycle changes colors. But I would definitely recommend this sweater. I would even do another one because I think it could look totally
it's in my
different if you
list.
had
Yeah, it's
light up
definitely
here
in
and
my
dark
list.
down at the bottom. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I'm really happy with it, and might knit another one sometime. Who knows?
Well, I have all of that
So,
hero yarn that we bought in Chicago, so I was thinking of adding that to something
mhm.
to make that sweater. I really like that pattern.
So
Mhm.
yeah, I do really like it. Okay, so moving on. Do you have any FOs? You said
I
you did.
do. I do.
Okay. Okay, I have a few.
I think you better start because as I
Okay.
said, I have one. I have an FO. I have a hoe. Oh, shoot. I did have another one and I left it upstairs and I'm not unhooking myself to go get it. So you're going to have to go see it all next week. You're going to
Okay.
keep us entertained anyway, but
Okay.
all right, carry
Okay.
on.
Okay, so well, this one's really, you saw it last week, but this is the Fraser. This is by Danny Sunshine, and it, just let me find the banner here. It is a sweater for my first grandson who is expected in early January. So basically I did have most of it done last week, except I didn't have buttons. My ends weren't sewed in. So I just actually went to Michael's in Charlottetown and got this little package of coconut buttons. And I think they look
They're very
really
cute.
cute on it.
Very
Yeah.
cute.
The sweater is, I really like the pattern. It's a broken rib design. I really like the two buttons at the neck, and they are functional buttons, like they do open. So it gives you a lot of room to put a sweater over a baby's head.
Mhm.
And the yarn is, and I actually even have a picture of the yarn because I thought we don't do that sometimes. And I think we should maybe show
What
like
it
the
looks like before
yarn.
we knit with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the yarn that I used was King Cole Homespun Prism Double Knitting. And again, this is a really light DK weight yarn. It comes in different colors. Obviously, the color shown there is different than the color that I've got. And I got mine at Little Red Mitten, and this barely took, like, they're 50-gram skeins. This barely took, I mean, I was just into the second skein. So I'm going to end up doing a little hat to go with it, but I haven't gotten that done yet. So, but highly, highly recommend that pattern. It was super easy. I really like the broken rib design. It would look nice even just in a solid color. Like you don't necessarily have to
Mhm,
have it
mhm,
in
mhm.
the pattern. But this yarn was really nice to work with too. It's kind of a little bit tweedy, and it does have some nylon in it. So you actually, I might try some of this doing a pair of DK weight socks. So
Yes,
I
very
would like to
nice.
see how that would work out. So, okay. Whoops, wrong one. I thought I had this organized, but no. Okay, so that's number one. My second finished object are the Antler Mitts by Tin Can Knits.
I
So
love
there's
those. Why haven't I never
those.
made them?
I
You
don't
keep
know.
making them, and I keep thinking I need to make a pair of those.
I haven't made these before.
What's the other ones that you made that look
I made
similar then?
Bracken Mitts before by Clara
Bracken,
Hudson, but I
yes.
have not made these.
Yes.
But these are a sample for Little Red Mitten. So these, hold it up close. They've got kind of like the antler pattern that goes down the middle, and they look like they're really long, but when you put them on, they're actually kind of nice. They're like, it comes really far down your, like
Oh, I
down your
like
wrist and
see,
really
I
covers
like
your
that.
wrist.
I like that.
So, but yet the rib only goes to here, but then you've still got part of your wrist that's got like the cable pattern on it. And yeah, they're really nice. So this is Malabrigo Washted, and I don't have a picture of that, but I do have the tag. So there's the Malabrigo Washted. This is 100% superwash merino wool, and it's a worsted weight, and it's a single ply. Like honestly, this yarn feels amazing, and Malabrigo colors are just like so rich and so I don't know, they just kind of look like luxurious. And
They
it's a
do.
tonal kind of tweedy. The pattern shows up really nice in it, and this is a sample for Little Red Mitten. This is the medium size. Now the actual pattern, the Tin Can Knits pattern actually calls for a bulky weight yarn. This is basically a worsted to an Aran. So that it will knit up a little bit smaller when you knit them up.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that was, I used, what was it? 30, I had 38 grams of the yarn left. So I used 68 grams of a 100 gram ball. So.
And if you're not, for those of you that may not be familiar with Tin Can Knits, also to go with that antler mitts, there is an antler toque and there's an antler sweater. And bear in mind that when you get a Tin Can Knits pattern, you're getting all the way from the very smallest size up to an adult size. So it's fantastic value for your pattern money, because you're getting, you can make the entire family these garments, and you're covered for all of the sizes.
Yeah.
So that is a really pretty color, though.
Yeah, it is. The color's called Cerisa. And actually, Jacqueline had given me 2 skeins of the fleece, the Malabrigo fleece, in that color, which should spin up beautifully and make something.
Mm-hmm.
So Denise had asked about buttons for a little one, like because this is for like a small baby, they're not going to be able to pull anything off. Like I think where you're going to start to get a little bit more worried is when they're actually like pulling at things. But I just find I just sew the buttons down as tight as I can, and I would never put them down for a nap or something with that on. Mm-hmm. But I think like for newborns to 3 months old, they really don't have the dexterity to pull anything off. So I just kind of make sure that they're on there good and tight. So.
Yes. And something else that you can do too, if you want to stabilize the buttons on a knitted garment, is you can, if you have just a piece of felt, and I just mean like lightweight felt, you can cut out a button size piece and put that behind the knitting when you're stitching your buttons. And then that way that gives that garment, like, especially if you're knitting buttons into like a chunkier garment where the stitches are loose and you feel, I've got to use a thinner thread because the buttonholes are small. So then you can put a piece of felt behind there and that will stabilize it onto the garment.
Yeah. So. And Lynn says that cereza means cherry in Spanish, and that color does look like black cherries.
Yes.
Like it's just that nice rich color. So. Okay. Do you want me to keep going?
Hi. Yeah, I'm just going to say hi to Anne. She's sitting and knitting while she's watching the podcast, and she's swatching for an upcoming October Cal in New Zealand. We've got a few people. There were a few people in there that I saw tonight that were brand new, that have finally made it to the live. Welcome. It kind of blows our minds week after week how many of you show up for this. It's truly impressive.
So here's my next finished object.
Oh, I love that one too.
This is a sample for Little Red Mitten. So this is the Simple Beanie, again by Tin Can Knits, Basic Beanie by Tin Can Knits. So when you get, again, this pattern, it is a paid for pattern, but it comes in like newborn sizes, like right up to extra, extra large. It also, like you can see that this one is done a 2x2 rib and it's got a turned up brim. It also gives you instructions for a 1x1 rib, a 3x1 rib, and then tells you how to do like the crown decreases depending on what rib you choose to do it in. So this yarn is Rico Creative Melange Aran Wonderball. So, and I do have a picture because
that's a mouthful.
I'm amazed. I know, I'm amazed I even remembered that. Okay, so here it is. It comes in a 200 gram ball, which is 640 meters. So already out of this, a couple of weeks ago, I showed you I had, what was it? The super, or the simple sweater, or the new simple sweater pattern that Tin Can Knits just come out with in a size 2 to 4. And now I finished this hat, which is an adult medium, and I still have 50 grams of that yarn left out of the 200 gram ball. So it goes really far. So, and this color that I've got, I think is color 04, and I think it was called something rainbow. But yeah, really good yardage. Again, it feels like a woolen spun yarn, so you're getting a lot of yardage for the weight. So you can get a garment that's nice to wear and warm, but not too heavy. So yeah, so that's
very nice.
That's, and again, these things, like, it looks really thin when it's like this, but none of this stuff is blocked because I haven't been able to block anything while I'm away.
I really like that.
Yeah,
that's nice.
It was
it's really nice.
It was, I'm not, okay, not gonna lie. There was a lot of knitting in 2x2 rib.
Yes, it is.
I think it was like 9.5 or 10 inches.
Yeah,
So
I made Damon I think the hat that I made was actually called the 2x2. And
okay.
yeah, it seemed like it went on forever for just a hat. But I have to admit, and he loves it. It fits really well. So it's a lot like the DRK everyday socks. It
Hmm.
seems to go on for a long time, and it truly does, because the whole sock is 2x2 rib. But they just fit amazing. There's nothing like the elasticity that 2x2 rib gives you. So the snug fit you're going to get on your head,
Yeah.
and on the foot too. It's just like, honestly, it's just the best. But yeah, it is a lot of knitting. It really
Yeah.
is.
But it does fit nice. And it's like the little hat that I'm going to do to go with the little baby sweater, though, I think I'm going to use that pattern as a guide, but I think I'm going to do a broken rib pattern in it that matches
Okay.
the sweater.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
Okay.
So my next finished object.
Oh, you got them finished. See, I really
They're
like those
finished. So
too.
these are Ross's socks. These are I keep always wanting to say snakes on a plane, but it's not snakes on a plane. It's socks on a plane. These are socks on a plane by Laura Linneman, who is one of the knit girls. And I do have a banner somewhere. There we go. So these, lots of people, there's lots of projects. So basically they're pretty much vanilla, except for this cable that goes down one side of the leg. And then
Mm-hmm.
on the other sock, it's on the other side of the leg. And I reverse the cable. So one sock's going one way
Mm-hmm.
and one sock's going the other way. The original pattern is toe up, but I did these ones top down. So I started off with a 2x2 rib at the top. I did my alternating cable cast on for a 2x2 rib, cut in heel. And this yarn is Fleeced Artists Organic Cottage Socks. And the colorway is Puffin. And then the heel and the toe are the same yarn, except the colorway is Covered Bridge. So those are colors that are specific to out here, because the longest covered bridge, I believe, in North America is in New Brunswick. And then there are
In
puffins
Florence.
like in Nova Scotia. And
Yes.
yeah. So anyways, I know I showed the yarn when I first got it, and you would not ever think that this yarn would knit like this. Like, it just amazes
Also,
me.
Noelle told us that she was only going to work on those when Ross was driving her to something knitty, which means he's driven her to a lot of knitty things since they've been there, because that's pretty awesome to get those done only in the time that you're working on those.
Anyway, so now we can wear them. And it actually has been cold enough here. I had warm socks on yesterday. We went for a hike, and it was cold enough to put warmer socks on. Like, it wasn't freezing or anything, but it was nice to have nice socks on inside your hiking boots. And so okay, do you show something?
Yes. Okay. Well, since we were talking about the rib, I just happened to finish, and I do have two of them. One looks ridiculous, and then the one that is on the sock blocker looks like a perfect sock. And so these are the DRK everyday socks. The only deviation I do from the pattern as written, this is an Andrea Mowry pattern, and the only thing that I do different that I know of, I think, is the toe. I do the rounded toe. I have a rounded toe up recipe that I follow. I like that. I just like it. That's just what I like. And with this one, instead of doing the full solid, I did just put in just a little stripe of charcoal. And this yarn is the Pretty Pink.
Timber yarns.
It's Timber Yarns, but is it called Pretty Pink?
Yes.
Yes. Yep. Okay. It's called Pretty Pink by Timber Yarns. It's the all over marl. I don't think that my camera is doing this justice. It kind of looks magenta. It's much more poppy pink in person. And then the charcoal strip at the top is the Licorice by Timber Yarns as well. Now, the one thing that I do too, when I'm adding a stripe in that first row of a color change, I knit the entire row, even though I'm ribbing, and it doesn't mess up your ribbing. You can't even see it. But what it does is it gives you a very clean, sharp transition. So that's the only change that I make. And I do that in all of my color work that includes ribbing. I don't like the way it looks to get the little pearl bumps of the color change. I like the cleaner stockinette look. So I knit that whole row. But these are a Christmas gift for Kendall. And yeah, so one pair down. I only have to make a few pairs, not like your 15 pairs.
That's the pretty pink.
It doesn't even look the same.
Well, this is it in the marl. So I don't know if it's our cameras are different, but like this is the pretty pink, but in the marl. But remember, you've got the black all the way through it, which I really think tends to make it look darker.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be
I'm going to have a hard time giving these away because I really, really like them.
You can get more.
Okay. So when we were talking about that 2x2 rib and how long it takes, I've knit this sock or this pair of socks one other time for myself, and they are one of my favorite pairs of socks. And I said, as much as I love them, I would never knit them again as a gift because it is so much knitting. So it did. It took a long time to knit this pair of socks, but I really like them, and I know that she will too. And it's probably going to be a while before her knitting skills get to where she's making a sock, but she did complete a hat this week. I was pretty proud of her.
See, I don't mind doing the 2x2 rib in a sock for some reason, because you get down to the heel and then you do something else or whatever. But just in the hat, it just seemed like, I don't know. It seemed like okay in the sock, but
it's a lot of knitting. It is.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So,
all right, carry on.
Okay. Okay. So my next finished object, I can't pronounce the name, so I need to bring up the brand or the banner. Okay. Sorgenfri Torkel by Guri.
And we are apologizing as she says that.
Sure. So here it is. And I'll show you again. It's like I just seem to have an obsession lately with broken rib. But it's not blocked yet, but it's kind of just a little bit bigger than Sophie's scarf. I'm not choking myself with it there, but I can't pull my hair all out of it. But I will show it again once I blocked it all, because it will block out quite a bit bigger than what it is right at the moment. But this is done in Pasquale balayage, and it is a yarn that is 80% alpaca, 20% merino. And this is the hand dyed colorway. I do have a picture, but the only picture I could get, this is the colorway that I use. That's what it looked like before I started knitting with it. And I got this yarn at Shall We Knit, which is now in Kingsville, Ontario.
Okay.
She used to be in Kitchener, but now she's in Kingsville. So super soft. The feel of this yarn is just amazing. And again, the pattern was really neat to knit, and I just kind of knit it till I wouldn't have any more yarn left. So I think it'll be nice just to wear with even just like a little open neck shirt or even over a turtleneck. But again, it feels definitely next to skin soft. So
there's a couple of people
I do like that pattern. That designer does have that pattern in baby sweaters and regular sweaters, and I really like the pattern. I really might have to put it in something else.
Good.
So
there's a couple of people that have asked about what do I use for a recipe for my rounded toe up. I will make sure that gets linked in the show notes if you want to check back on that tomorrow when Noelle gets them up.
I know that we have put that into show notes before. I just can't remember what episode.
Yeah.
So we'll have to remember when we do something like that to keep a list of where the information is.
Heather's in here from Timber Yarns. Heather.
Hi, Heather.
They're so squishy. They're so good. I love Heather's marled yarn. It's super springy, so squishy. And it's Timber Yarns. There was somebody else that mentioned they didn't catch the name of this yarn. It's Timber Yarns.
Okay, I'll show mine now too then.
There you go. More Timber Yarns.
So this is more Timber Yarns. This is the twin socked marl. This color is called
brown leaf.
Brown leaf?
No.
Oak leaf? Gold leaf?
No. Brown
Heather,
leaf.
What's it called? I don't think
brown
it's
leaf.
No, it's not. It's called Cake Boss Brown.
Oh, Cake Boss Brown. Okay. That's right. Brown leaf is the gold that I like.
Brown leaf is so this is Cake Boss Brown. So this is one of my pairs of socks for Christmas, and I am this far on the other one.
What pattern was that again? Sorry, I'll pull it up.
This, oh, it's not a pattern.
Okay,
I just
well,
made
then
it
I'll
up. So
take that label down.
it's basically just a vanilla sock, and it's just got a little down here. I don't know if you can see it. You can't really see it till it's blocked out because I only put one purl stitch on either side of it, but it's just kind of a little pattern that goes in and out just so that I can keep track of where I am. But the heel will be black licorice that I'll put in after. So hopefully those ones will get finished tomorrow, and then I'll start a new pair for the way home. So the ones I'll be starting on the way home will be these ones in the, this is the pretty pink in the twin sock marl. And this is my last pair of adult male socks that I have to make for Christmas. The rest are just female socks, so they'll be smaller. So
not by much though. Well, you're the only one with the teeny tiny feet in your family.
But these are 72 stitches, yes. And the girls' socks are 64. So that makes a difference. So
it does.
I mean, absolutely. these are using like almost all of the yarn when I do the guys' socks. So when I do the girls' socks, they're not, but when I do the guys' socks, they're using almost all of the yarn. So, okay. So my next finished object is another pair of mitts.
Oh, you got them done. They're so pretty.
Yep. Turning it around. Okay, just a minute.
Just put them on. Put them on.
Okay. Okay. So these are the Coastal Drift mittens, and this is a pattern by Meno Jolie, who I met when I went to her yarn store in Tatamagouche. And I know that I do have
it's up there.
Oh, it's up there? Okay.
You just there.
So these are a pattern that she designed specifically for the PEI Fiberfest, which is in it's on Thanksgiving weekend. So not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. And she is going to have kits available there for this. Now, this pair is done in Sand and Skarn Sunday and drops kid silk mohair. So I do have a picture to show you the different yarns, what they look like. So it's the drops kid silk, which is a 25-gram ball, and then the Sand and Skarn Sunday is a 50-gram ball. So I still had enough left from just a 50-gram and a 25-gram to do like a pair for one of my granddaughters. Like there's not enough to do another adult pair, but I could pare that down and easily do it for one of the granddaughters. But the look at the stitch. The stitch is so much fun.
It's gorgeous. And it's a beautiful stitch.
It feels amazing in the two yarns combined. So she will be releasing the pattern. She said she's going to be releasing it just before the Fiber Festival, and we will be giving away some kits. She was so kind and donated some kits to us to be able to give away, but we won't do that until after she's had her debut at the Fiber Festival. But so because this is a DK tension or gauge, you can actually do it in this, or she's also gifted us some Sand and Skarn double Sunday, which if you're using double Sunday, then you don't hold the mohair with it.
Right. So, and there's no need to be intimidated by that stitch if you're looking at that and thinking I can't do that. But she actually did a little tutorial, and she's posted that online too. So if there's somebody that's struggling with that stitch, then you can watch her do the stitch.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, so, it looks great.
Yeah. And of course, I picked this color.
Pink, of course, yes. Before we move on to something else, I just want to go back. Joy posted a question to Heather. Heather said she was having some internet issues. So I hope that you can see this, Heather. But Joy is saying that she hopes, or will you please make sure to bring some of the marled pink for the trunk show that you're doing in Fergus this weekend. So, okay.
Okay. So my next finished object is the ranunculus. I know that's in here somewhere. Okay. So this is the one that I was working on. All done. So this is a sample for Little Red Mitten. And this is done with 3 yarns held together. So they are the whole Skarn Titicaca, which is 100% alpaca, the whole Skarn Super Soft, which I believe is 50% merino, 50% Shetland, I think. And then the Lang paillettes. So the Lang paillettes is the sparkle yarn. And with the sparkle yarn, I only held the sparkle every third round because the paillettes is really super sparkly, but it is quite costly. So that way it only took like about 1.5 of the skeins of the Lang paillettes. This is 2 50-gram cakes of the Holst super soft, and it's 1 and maybe a third of the Holst Titicaca. And it's not blocked out yet, but this is the original. Like when I block that out, it's bigger than I would make for me, but they wanted one that was like just the average size. So I think that turned out really pretty. And I weighed my yarn to see how far I could go with the sleeves. And then I just did the I-cord cast off on the sleeves. So the sleeves come maybe down to about there. And I really like it. Just blingy. And the colors are the Holst Garn Super Soft is Space. The Titicaca is Galaxy. And I can't remember what the sequins were, whatever matched it. So, and this is all from Little Red Mitten. So this is a sample. I'll be going to see them once I get home and taking all these samples to them. So,
it turned out great. I love that color. I know, it's really pretty.
I love that color too. So
very pretty.
Okay. Do you have any other finishes?
Well, I did, but I left it upstairs. So no. Okay.
Well, I have still some more. Okay, so this next one is
at work today. Somebody started singing that song that never ends. This is like the FO train that's never going to stop. Just keeps on rolling.
So this is the Friend to Friend by Leslie Friend. So this is like a little shrug. And I just did a little bit of embroidery on it. So this is done in Lion Brand. Let me just find, Lion Brand Hue and Me. And I can't remember the color. I think that this color was called Cement on one place that I looked at it, and Silver Blue in another place. Well, I would say it looks more like a cement gray. So it's, I really like it. Like this one is a gift for someone, but I think that I probably will make one for myself. I've actually got some of the gold yarn, some of the gray yarn, and I've got like a navy blue yarn. So I'm actually going to do a striped one, and I'm going to use a mathematical sequence to figure out the stripes.
There you go.
Why not?
Why not? Why not?
So anyway, so I'm going to do that. Hopefully I'll have that one done for next week, but that one's going to be for me. But this like is such a quick knit. It's super for a gift. And it's actually, I don't know if my daughter-in-law watches or not. I don't think she does. But anyway, she's pregnant. And I thought her birthday's like this weekend. And that's perfect for wearing when you're pregnant because you don't have to worry about it coming over like your stomach or whatever.
That's right.
And
yeah.
So I hope
really
she likes
pretty.
It, but anyway.
I ordered that yarn. I did order it. It's not here yet. I thought it would have been here by now. So.
Anyway. Okay. I just have one more. What?
Okay, do show.
Okay. So when
you better not ever miss 2 weeks because we'd have to pull an all-nighter to get her through it.
Okay. So these new one, this one I just started since I got back from the Titamagooch Yarn Festival.
I have a question. What is Ross doing on vacation when you're knitting 28 hours a day?
I'm not knitting that far in a day. Like if we drive someone in the car, I'm knitting. If I get up at 5, I've been getting up at 5 in the morning. So here is my
hedgerow.
Yes.
Hands down, those are my favorite all-time fingerless gloves that I have ever made. It's not a great pattern.
It is. And this is a yarn that I got at the Titamagooch Woolstock East. This yarn is called Gobsmacked. And
I love it.
I might have a skein of it.
I see bags of yarn behind you.
Yes, there are. Okay, so this is Gobsmacked. So it is actually Manitoulin Island fingering. It is 100% untreated wool. So it is Suffolk and Rideau Arcot, which the Rideau Arcot was the sheep that was in the yarn that we got from Roots and Rain. Yes. But Donna's has, it was the trillium sock that had nylon in it, so you could make socks with it, but this one doesn't have any nylon, so I wouldn't suggest making socks with it. But they came in these little, well, some of it came in these little 25-gram mini skeins. So this is just 2 25-gram mini skeins. So the reddish peachy color is called Rhubarb Cordial, and then the other color is called Stormy or Rocky. Rocky it's or Stormy. Really nice. I'm not sure which one. Really nice. I think it was Rocky. Now that I think of it, it's Rocky. But anyways, I love them, and it was so much fun to knit. It's perfect for color work. And I did get enough that we might be doing in the future a few little giveaways so that you could make yourself a little pair of these little fingerless mitts. So, and it was a super fun pattern. The only adjustment that I made to the pattern was I added a few more rows up here because I wanted them to come up a little bit higher on my hand.
Yes.
And then I did a on the thumb, you were just supposed to pick up and do the rib, but I did a couple of rows of the rib in the alternating colors before I did the cast off in the main color. So that's it. That's all my FOs.
There's been some funny comments in here while you've been chatting. Haley says that she's starting to think that you weren't hiking, but that you were being carried around so you could keep knitting.
Oh, right.
Maybe Ross just had her perched on his shoulders.
So no. I will ride a running buggy. That's right. I wish.
So anyway. Pat is asking where you were able to find the Lion brand Hue to Me yarn. I know Michael sells it. I think you bought yours at a yarn store. I went right on to...
It was a fabric store.
Oh, a fabric store. Okay.
It was a little fabric store in St. Andrews. And they only had a couple of different yarns. And that was one that they had. And I actually haven't seen it at Michael's near us.
Okay. I actually went right onto the Lion brand site. And I ordered it. It was on sale. Well, this was almost 2 weeks ago, Pat, that I ordered mine. It was on sale for a fantastic price. And the shipping is incredibly reasonable for Lion brand yarn. Now, that comes out of the States. But if you are Canadian, I want to just mention that they state on their website that they're for Canadian customers, and I'm not sure about other countries because clearly I was just looking for Canada, but they state that shipping cost will include any duties that you may have to pay as well. So it's not a guessing game whether, here in Canada, we sometimes get hit with duty, but you won't be hit with duty. And I think my shipping, I got enough for 2 of them, I think. So maybe I ordered 6. And my shipping was $8 Canadian. So I think that was really reasonable. I was happy with that.
I should say that one that I did, it took just a little over 2 skeins. So I still have a lot of the third skein of the gray still left. So, and I know there's comments here that Mary Maxim's has it. And Anne says Walmart. And I think sometimes it's different, like what Walmart in the States carries compared to what Walmart in Canada carries.
Yes.
Same thing with Michael's, because I know there's Michael's in the States too, and they don't always carry the same things. And not only that, every Walmart, even in Canada, doesn't necessarily carry the same things.
No.
So.
And then, Sally says Amazon has it. Who would have thought? Sharon says Joanne's.
That was another question that someone asked, was they wanted to do the friend to friend, but they didn't like the feel. I mean, I personally think it feels okay, but they didn't want to work with acrylic yarn. And did we know of any other substitutes? I haven't really looked into that. Maybe somebody here knows. All I would suggest is I would not want to do that in a superwash yarn because of the amount that's in it. I think it would really stretch. So if you are going to do it with like a substitute yarn in a wool, I'd probably make sure it was not a superwash wool. But
you can also
but I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't put a couple of strands of something together and do it.
I would suggest that you go on to Ravelry too, and you can look at the other projects that other people have done. And there's Is it Casuarina? Casuarina?
Yeah.
She knit
Yes.
one using, I think, 3 or 4 different yarns, and it looks fabulous, really beautiful. So that might be something else. That's a good place to start anyway, to go on to Ravelry and see what other people are doing. Okay.
Okay. Okay, I forgot I have one more FO.
Okay.
It's a spinning FO.
We're almost at an hour. We still have this giveaway to do.
Anyways, so this is 50 grams. It's 100% pole worth, and I finished spinning it, and then I chain plied it. So I did bring my spinning wheel with me. I just have an e-spinner. I did bring it with me. So this is 100% pole worth, and it's not, I haven't washed it or anything yet, but yeah, I'm really happy with it. And then I've got another one ready to go. I spun this up.
Oh, that's pretty.
So I've got 2 bobbins.
Mhm.
So that's gonna get plied together tomorrow at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I have an Ashford e-spinner, and these are the jumbo bobbins. Like, that's 80 grams on there. And there's still like tons of room on that bobbin. So there's 80 grams on each one. This fiber is Stitch Noir, and it is a BFL. So that's gonna get just single ply, or not single ply, like it'll be a 2-ply yarn, whereas the one that I just finished, this one, I chain plied it, so it's a 3-ply. So
yeah. No, Heather, they didn't fly, they drove. Ross is outside, or actually he's in town shopping right now for a bigger car to get them back with.
No, I got vacuum bags. I went and bought a bunch of vacuum bags. So do I take vitamins? Some days. Anyway.
Oh, Marianne says if Ross pushes your running buggy fast enough, it would power your spinner.
There you go. There you go.
Poor Ross. Okay. Oh, and Julia,
that's it.
No, Julia says, on going back to your cowl, there are 48 options of yarn ideas for the friend-to-friend cowl on Ravelry. So that should give you lots of other options. Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Hey, Kelly, do you have any other finished objects?
No. People are going to be going to bed on us, Noelle. Let's move along.
Do you have any whips?
Yes, I have whips. I have a hoe and I have whips. But okay, before we do that, just for the people that do have somewhere else to go, there's a couple of things I want to talk about that lead up to the giveaway. So firstly, I want to talk about this, and I would have had a nice little picture to include Donna, but Noelle rushed me onto the podcast, so I don't have it.
You should have got here before 7, like everybody else did.
Some of us aren't on vacation, Missy. Anyway, what I wanted to say is, I believe it's on September 30th. Our friend Donna of Roots and Rain Yarn, and you know how much we love the Roots and Rain yarn. She is having a shop update with everything that she has left from her last 2 festivals. And this is your opportunity, friends, because she has stated that she will not be dying in the foreseeable future for a period of time. And so I just want to let you know, I wish I had even had time to make a banner, but maybe, okay, I can type really quicker than I can actually show up, I guess. Roots and Rain yarn. So this is the yarn that, and then I would have to show it. There we go. So Noelle just finished a sweater. You made your field sweater in the Roots and Rain, and I've made a couple of pairs of socks in it. And I think we have almost every base now that Donna dyes, and we just can't say enough about how much we love her yarn. So September 30th, friends, that's the date. You can follow her on Instagram, and she will give you more details on there about the shop times and what she will be having. I think today she was busy taking photos. So I just want to wish her a really successful update.
Well, I'll link the website in the notes.
Okay. All right. And then the next yarny update that I want to talk about, I did manage to get a picture in because I was ahead of myself, and I got this done last night. 5th anniversary sale coming up at Bruna's shop, The Knitting Loft. 25% off, friends. Noelle, you are banned. You get nothing. You have bought enough. Bruna, she cannot shop. Anyway, this is coming up on the 29th of September and running into the 30th. And it's in honor of her 5th anniversary. And she has such a beautiful store.
She does. Gorgeous yarns.
Gorgeous yarns. And
amazing staff.
We just really want to congratulate you on 5 years. That's huge for a yarn store, because there are many that just do not get there. So,
well, especially when 2.5 years of that were the pandemic.
Absolutely. And you have powered through, and kudos to you. So just wanted to share that. If you're, feeling that you need some yarn, that will be a great place to get it. And since we are talking about the Knitting Loft, I have this absolutely beautiful package. Sorry for the crinkling. I didn't want to take it out. That Bruna gifted us to give away to a lucky viewer. This is their shop dyed yarn care base, which Noelle and I both love. We talk a lot about it. We've knit with it. I haven't finished my ranunculus yet, but it's still on the go. And then also a skein of their Knitting Loft mohair. And the color is called Vintage Pink. And there is also, a pattern in here for a shawl, if that's what you choose to do. But there are many beautiful things that you could do with this yarn. And we had talked about getting this a couple of weeks ago, and we were going to have a little celebration ourselves to give a lucky viewer when we reach 7,000 subscribers. And we did do that in this past 2 weeks. So we are now going to give this away to somebody. So what we would like you to do is leave a comment below after the podcast, not now, after the podcast, because we want to make sure that it's open, not just for the people that are in here tonight, but for anybody else that tunes in later in the week to watch the show. So leave a comment below. What do we want the comment to be about, Noelle?
I don't know.
Maybe just let us know if you've ever been to the Knitting Loft, or if you've ever shopped at the Knitting Loft. And or maybe even just let us know anything about the Knitting Loft, or maybe let us know if you get anything at their weekend sale. And yes, you're right, Shirley, 25% is such a big discount. Who wouldn't need something at 25%? So yeah. But anyway, we are count ourselves as very lucky to know Bruna and to support her store. So just leave any comment below. How about that? And we will draw for that next week. Okay.
Yep.
Sounds good. Thank you.
And thank you, Bruna, so much for that yarn. Is amazing. It
is. And thank you, friends, for getting us to 7,000 subscribers. That's pretty cool too. Who would have thought? And if you're enjoying yourself, don't forget to give a thumbs up down below too. Okay. Are we on to whips?
Yep.
Okay. What have you got going on? Do you have anything left that you're working on, or did you finish everything?
I'm still working on my Starry Night dress. So I did do some on it, but I still have a ways to go. Again, there it is. But I took a picture. Well, Ross took a picture of where it is. There we go.
Oh, you're getting there.
That's getting there. Yep. So, but yeah, I'm really super happy with it. It's wide enough now. I'm not going to make it any wider. I'm just going to keep it the width that it is, and it will have a turned up hem at the bottom. So, and I'm not going to make it. I'm going to wear it with leggings, so I'm not going to make it super long. Like, I don't know, maybe another 4 inches, 5 inches.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is done in Holst Super Soft. Again, it's the same combination as what that ranunculus was. It is Holst. I'll show that picture again. It's the Holst Titicaca, the Holst Super Soft, and then the paillettes. But in this one that I'm doing, the sequins are only in So the stars at the top are the Titicaca held with the sequins, and then the rest, the red is just by itself. There's no Titicaca held with it. So it's just, it is a lot of knitting because it's like, I think it's a 28 stitch gauge. So, and now it's just round and round. So this is good car knitting now that I'm not knitting socks. So this is good car knitting. And yeah, and I'm knitting my holst from a cone, and one cone should be lots to do the whole sweater. So, and then I already showed the socks. So my timber yarn socks. So
okay. I have a hoe. I finished this sock. This is
that's
the,
nice.
I do have a banner for it because I can't remember what it was called.
Okay,
Springtide. There we go. It's
Okay.
Springtide socks by This Handmade Life. And this is the yarn. The yarn is from Lady Llama, and this is Deep Stash because we got this, or I got this when we were in Columbus at Vogue Knitting, and it is a gradient skein. It was supposed to be enough to do shorty socks, but I used the again Heather's licorice, which is like the perfect gray for everything you ever want to knit. It's like a faded black, so it goes with a lot of things. So I put that in, and I finished off the top too just to tie it together. But I really like this beautiful gradient, just the way the sock flows. And so I ended up getting a full-size pair of socks out of a 30-gram ball. Normally usually I would use about 35 grams for myself for a pair of socks. So I would probably make them maybe half an inch longer, and that would have been the extra little bit, but I am very happy. And now I've got to cast on and get the other one done, but I wanted to show
Did
it.
it come in 30-gram balls?
Yes.
Okay.
It was 2 30-gram balls, just these little.
I don't know why I didn't buy that when I was with you.
I don't know how I got something that you didn't know I got, but anyway.
I don't.
Yeah, and this
Anyway.
is, so it's Kelly Terwilliger. Kelly Terwilliger is Lady Llama. That's her yarn logo, and it came with this cute little pin, which I found inside the bag. I don't know why I didn't put it on a bag myself, but anyway, I am very happy with the with this sock, and I'm anxious to get the other one done. I think it's really pretty. I really, really like it.
That was Columbus, I think, wasn't it? That we got that. I'm pretty sure it was Columbus.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, that was thing one. And did you have anything else you're working on?
No, not anything else that I haven't worked. I have other WIBs, but I haven't worked on them.
Okay, so I have another thing too. I cast this on last night because I felt like I just needed a little bit of a palette cleanse. I should be working on the 4 sweaters, and I have been. I'm almost done my ranunculus, but anyway, I just want to show this. This is.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, it didn't. Oh, it could have been a clearer picture. But anyway, it's called You Can Do Mint. I didn't make a banner for it. You Can Do Mint by Nocta Knits. I'll make sure there's a banner for it for next week because I'll probably show it again. But I'll show you what I've done on it. So it has kind of a clever construction, and everybody knows my love of headbands and things that I tie around my head. So you cast on, but they will let you decide how you want to cast on. All I did was I did a Turkish cast on. So I've left my stitches live.
Okay.
And then you knit out because it has this little narrow end with the little, like a flap. And that's where you do the tie. And so you knit out that one half, and then you go back and you'll knit out the other half. So what I'm using, and it only took, the pattern that they used only used 17 grams of yarn. Well, I had 24 grams of my spruce lee left from the Loving Path that goes with my Willa tea sweater that I made. And I thought this would be a really nice accent piece, but I would probably wear this with other things as well. But I'll just show you what I have done on it so far. I have 2 repeats of the lace, and you're supposed to do 5 repeats of the lace. And then you do this like little decrease, and it's finished up really nicely because it has this little bit of an I-cord edge going on, and it's just fun. It's only 31 stitches. So it's a 12 row repeat, and I just thought this would be a fun little scarf to have.
Well, in good way, a lot of times that's the amount that you have left over from a pair of socks. So it's a good
Yeah.
way to use that up, right?
Yeah, so I thought
So,
I'm quite keen on getting this done actually. I had a few missteps. First couple of rows didn't go so well and I got a little bit frustrated. And then I guess the one other thing that I can show, I am I think ready to bind off. I just want to try it on one more time to make sure that this is my black ranunculus, and this is using the Knitting Loft Yarn Care in the colorway flat black. That's the back of it. And I held for the yoke only the which
sequenicity,
ones? Sequenicity. Thank you.
sequenicity.
LRA synchronicity. Thank you. In the yoke of this ranunculus. And I'm couldn't be more happy with the way this turned out. This is really, really nice. So I've got a nice deep rib going on there of the twisted rib. And I still have this little bit left for my ribbing. And then I have enough saved aside to do the sleeves. So
Okay. How long are you going to do the sleeves?
that will depend on the weight of the ball that I have left.
Okay. Okay.
And I will split that in half and knit to where I think I can go. And then I have to make the decision whether I wanted to do a ribbed cuff or if I want to do the I-cord bind off that I used on one of my other ranunculi. And I don't know what I'm leaning to. I won't know probably until I get there and I knit a little bit on it, and then I'll try it on and see what the sweater feels like it's calling to for me. But I really like this, and I like the way it looks just with that little bit of glitter. It's picking up on my camera pretty well. So
yeah, it's
happy with that. And it weighs, you're right. I mean, this weighs nothing.
I know, it weighs nothing. I know.
Nothing.
So
very nice. Okay.
Okay.
What else
did you buy anything?
All I bought, I mean, you're buying enough for both of us. So all that I bought was my Lion Brand yarn, which didn't arrive yet. So I've got nothing to show. But I bet you do.
I do. I do. I'm almost thinking, I wonder if I should just leave it for
an entire episode.
And we'll see how far. Well, then there'll just be more to show, though, wouldn't there? Okay. Well, last week we were in Prince Edward Island. So I ended up going to Fleece and Harmony. So one thing I got there is this Rowan yarn, which I didn't know that Rowan actually had a sock yarn. This is actually a sock yarn. So it's 75% wool, 25% polyamide, but it's like a single ply. And I just thought,
for a sock,
I'd really like to try it. Yeah. But it's got nylon in it. So
well, I'm already intrigued.
Ross picked this color, so this is actually going to be another pair for Ross, but not till later. These are not ones that I have to knit on the way home or anything. So that is the Rowan sock yarn, because they are a flagship store for Rowan, so they have quite a bit of Rowan yarn in there. So I got that, and then there I also got this is their Eldon lace.
Very nice.
So this is an 80-gram skein, and there is 500 yards in it. It's 70% wool and 30% mohair. So I got 2 of these, and so I'm going to hold them together, and I'll have enough to do like a little t-shirt style. That's kind of like, I know there's some like the ones from like This Bird Knits, like your Willa. Mm-hmm. Like I would have enough to do that, or she has some other ones that I liked as well. So I'll probably do something like that with it, because I got 2 of those. But then I also got this. This was actually in Mahone Bay. This is at Heidi's by Hand. This is Woolworks, which is in Mahone Bay. I first went to see her when she was in New Brunswick. The first time that we came out here, probably got to be 7 or 8 years ago. And then she has since moved to Mahone Bay. So this is her silk mohair. And this is 70% kid mohair, 30% silk, 435 meters. So I actually do have 2 of those. So I actually could hold that with this if I wanted to. So lots of decisions. I don't have to decide right now. So I got that. And I seem to be on like a purpley kick, because I also got this.
Oh, I like that.
So this is Fleece and Harmony again. This is their Divas Desire. This is dyed in the wool. So this was actually dyed before it was spun. So this is a 3-ply. It's 200 yards. It's a fingering weight yarn. So these are 50-gram skeins of it. And I got 4 of those. And I actually have a Rowan lace that's called, the color is vintage. And it's almost like the Titicaca. And we held it up at the store and I already have it at home. It's almost the exact color of that. So I might hold those 2 together.
Nice.
I don't know yet. I, got lots of decisions to make. I'm not sure what. And then we stopped in at this place called, what was it called? It was just a little wee tiny shop in Prince Edward Island. That's terrible. Knit Pickers. It was called Knit Pickers. And this is Rambouillet. And she had just 2 different colors in it. And she hadn't even got it tagged yet or anything. So I got 3 of those. So it's like, it's a fingering to a sport weight. So, but it feels amazing. So, and it was actually really reasonably priced. And I will put all of these websites, I will link them down below. So she is going to be at the PEI Fiber Fest. So check her out if you get there. And then at Heidi's in Mahone Bay, I also got this because I thought this would make an absolutely gorgeous baby boy sweater.
It would too.
So, and it is her sock yarn. So I know that it can go in the washer and dryer. So I got that for a baby boy. And then I also went to, I haven't even got to the yarn festival yet. I also went to the Mariner's Daughter in Lunenburg, and I got a couple of skeins of this there.
Oh, isn't that pretty?
This is
pretty.
She's downtown. And this is also going to be for a baby sweater, but I'm not only expecting a baby boy grandson, I'm also expecting another granddaughter in May. No, not in May, in March. So there's going to be a baby boy in January and a baby girl in March. So I thought this would make, and it's self stripes. I thought that would make a really pretty little girl jumper.
Yeah. Very nice.
Okay. Should we move on to what I got at the yarn festival?
Yep.
Okay. Or should I leave it for next week? What do you think?
Well, are you going to buy anything?
I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. Okay. First of all, one thing that I do want to say, when I was in New Brunswick, I had gone to see Minot, and she was supposed to have been at the Titamagouche Fiber Festival when it was before it got moved. And I was going to meet Sophie, who is Cozy Meadow Knits. So we obviously couldn't meet then. But when we moved from Prince Edward Island and we're moving to Nova Scotia, you kind of have to go up near Moncton. So we all got together. There was myself and Sophie from Cozy Meadow Knits and Minot from La Violette Yarn Co. and Nancy Wheeler from Knit Sit Happy. So we all got together for lunch with Ross. We did invite Ross for lunch. So we all got together for lunch and had a really nice lunch, really nice chat with them. And then I did get to see Nancy again because she ended up going to the Woolstock East because she was helping out her friend Deborah, who is Yarn Indulgences. And Yarn Indulgences is also coming to Woolstock Paris.
Okay, good.
So we will see her there. And so while I was there, Sophie actually made me this little notions pouch.
Oh,
and it's like just like the perfect color. And then she's got little stitch markers in here that are like, they're like jewelry that I would wear. Like they're just like the perfect colors.
Very nice.
Kind of like the pinks and taupes. So then at the yarn festival, I had messaged Vivian, and I know a lot of people follow Vivian. Vivian lives near Titamagouche. She spins, she weaves, she knits, she sews, and she gave me this bag.
Oh, beautiful.
She spun the yarn, wove the cloth, and sewed the bag.
Wow.
Like, it is just spectacular. Like, I've been really inspired to go back to my weaving. And I don't know, Kelly, if I do something like this, can you make bags? You make a bag?
Yes.
Okay. So we might have to work on that, but absolutely gorgeous. Vivian was so nice to meet, and we had a lovely chat, and she's doing some more spinning now, and it's just so nice to go and meet people that you kind of just talk to on Instagram
I
and
know,
actually
right?
meet in
Is
person. Like
yes,
it's
yes.
and it's like you know them sort of. Like it's
Mhm.
I don't know. It was so nice. So of course I had to get some fleece. And before I'd even met up with her, I had actually picked out this fleece, and look at
Oh my goodness.
so
Meant to be. Meant to be.
so
Absolutely.
so this is from Shades of You, and this is baby alpaca top.
Wow,
So,
that
and
is
it's just
gorgeous.
such soft, pretty colors.
Mhm.
And then I also got from the same place. This is also from Shades of You.
Oh my gosh.
So this one is Polworth Llama and Tussa Silk.
So pretty.
So,
So pretty.
and then Vivian had showed me, she was just, I've got some like plain merino and some plain light yarns at home. So this is 100% grade A cultivated silk. So these are like 1 ounce skeins, but I've never done it before, but I'm going to try and blend some, just taking like a plain yarn and then adding
Mhm,
in little
mhm.
bits of this colored silk.
It's gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful.
So, and it
Just
it
the, like,
feels,
the shine on that.
yeah,
So
and I
pretty.
know it's like gorgeous. And then there's the little wee bakery near where we're staying here has like a little craft guild thing in it. And there's a girl that does, like, I've got these little mini bats, and these are like from a local farm. So it's 50% mohair, 50% lamb's wool. So they're just little 25-gram bats, but I thought they were really pretty.
That's so pretty. I love that one in your left hand.
This one,
Yes, your left hand.
my left hand.
Your left hand.
Okay, okay. Anyway, so I got those, and I already showed you some of the gobsmacked yarn that I got, and that
Mhm.
was the one that was the Suffolk and the Rito
Arcot.
Arcot. So I got some more colors in it. So
I
this
love how we just can
is,
finish each other's yarn sentences.
I know, Purple Clover. This is the one that I use. That's the Rhubarb Cordial. This color is Stormy. That one is Rocky, so I was right. It was Rocky. This is Warm Gray.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
This is another Stormy. This is Old Turquoise. This is Quiet Canary.
Very nice.
This is Parakeet.
Did you leave any there?
Yeah, but I told you I'm gonna put some together so we can do some giveaways on the podcast.
Yeah.
And then I bought 3 skeins of the natural, because I thought the natural would look really nice with some of those colors in it, to do that the sweater that was just released. I can't remember the name of it, that has the russamine up at the top.
Oh, right. Yes, I
So I
can't
think it would
remember the
look
name
really
either,
nice with
but I know
that, and
which one
then
you
some of
mean.
the colors up at the top.
Yeah.
So okay, and then the only other thing I bought was,
There's more in that bag?
that's it. This is it. This is from Yarn Indulgences. This is her BFL. And these colors are, so this is 420 yards, 115 grams, 80% BFL and 20% nylon. So you can make socks with it. So this color is Antique Rose. I think I got 2 of those. No, I got 2 Old Rose. So that was Antique Rose. I got 2 of these. That's Old Rose. And then this one is Brickworks. So they could actually either go together in a fade, or I could probably do a t-shirt out of the 2 Old Rose and then socks. And that's it. I'm embarrassed. Ross goes, "Are you embarrassed that this whole cottage is filled with craft stuff?" I'm like, no. Anyway, so I got a lot of vacuum packing to do tomorrow.
Joanne
Anyway,
says that Noelle's bag is like the car at the circus with the clowns coming out of it. And then Darcy
Anyway,
says, "How
I
fun
gotta
would it
get
be to
knitting.
try?" Darcy says, "How fun would it be to travel with Noelle? Yarny heaven." Well, yes, as long as you're on time, Darcy. She can be a little spicy about the time, but
Anyway, so yes, it was a lot of fun. So,
it looks like you've had a really good month.
yep,
And you're back on the 30th, right?
back on the 30th. Oh, and I just want to say too that at Chattahoochee at the Yarn Festival, Ross came with me to the Yarn Festival. He actually got a couple of things.
What?
Yes, he wants to try needle felting.
Oh, okay.
So he actually bought a fox, and it's all packed up. I'll show it to you next week. It's really cute. And then we also got, well, he picked it out. I liked it. It's like a needle felted picture, like
Mhm.
and it's really nice. So, and in the needle felting booth, there was a little girl sitting there that was 6 doing it, and I'm like, we can handle this. She's 6. So anyway, yeah, so that was kind of cool. And yeah, I think like he likes to have something to do in the winter, and he has done painting. You've seen some of the stuff that
Mhm.
he's painted, but he kind of wants to get into doing more of the just something a little different. So, and I mean, I
He's
certainly have
trying to
lots
find
of
a way to
fiber,
use up he's trying to find a way to help use up the yarn in your house. That's what he's trying to do,
anyway.
right?
So, yeah,
Okay. Well, I had are you done your show and tell?
I'm
Because
done. I'm done.
there
I'm
were
sure
just
there's more, but I'm done.
a couple more questions that popped in, and I didn't want to leave them until next week, so they're in here. Denise is asking, she's having fits with trying to knit the narrow start and the narrow end of the muscle burra. Are there any tips? I I didn't have a problem. I don't know. I used the what's the technique I used? The
The pinhole cast
the
on.
pinhole cast on, and I found that that one worked a little easier for me than what some people were saying the muscle burra, the technique that they suggest. Um, so you might want to try that if you haven't, Denise. If you want to look up the pinhole cast on, it's called a few things, but I think that would get you in the right direction. Do you have any tips because you've knit a few of them?
I think I thought the pinhole cast on was the one that was in the pattern.
Okay, then that's not the one I used. I used the one where you make the chain and then you pull it tight and everything just goes together. What's that one
I can't
called?
remember. It's been a while. So I know I did whatever was in the pattern.
Okay, well,
So,
maybe that's something that I can go back into my project notes and I'll look up for next week, Denise, and then we will sort of circle back to this. Um, and then Jackie, excuse me, says, um, what is your favorite toe up cast off when there is no ribbing? Toe up cast off.
when there's no ribbing?
There's no, oh, okay. So like a slouchy sock. Um, I don't know. I've only done one and I
I've
used the
only I
Italian
think I've
Sona.
only and even on a slouchy sock, I still do a couple of rows of rib. And my new favorite is Lori's twisty bind off, but that
Right.
is for a rib. It's not. I don't
That's
know.
for
It's
rib.
not for just a plain. So
Mhm. Okay. Well, maybe we'll have to have a peek around at that too then. Okay.
you just have to make sure that you do something loose enough. Like look at stretchy bind offs. Like if you go into YouTube and go and like type in stretchy bind offs and that's you just want to make sure that it's loose enough that you can get it on and that you can pull the sock up to wherever you want it to go
Mhm.
on your leg. So anyway,
Okay. All right.
okay, so
So,
we have a yarn festival coming up soon.
yes, we do.
And I just want to say I met a lot of people at Tatamagouch, and thank you for coming up and saying hi to me and talking to me. It's so nice to, because I mean, when we don't necessarily recognize you because we don't see your faces, it's nice if you come up and say hi to us, and then we can kind of put a face with a name. And
Mhm.
so,
And we'll be at Woolstock,
mhm.
Woolstock, Ontario,
Onto
which is in
Paris,
Paris,
Paris.
Ontario. Yes.
Yep.
And that's coming up soon too in
The
what, 3
weekend after
weeks?
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the weekend after Thanksgiving. So we're
Yep.
looking forward to going to see that too, and all the vendors. And we're actually staying. There's a group of us. We've rented a house for the weekend, so we're turning it into a little retreat weekend as well, and we're looking forward to that as well. And I have company coming in 2 days. Mr. Miles is coming for a little visit just for the weekend with his mom. And I'm looking very forward to seeing him running around the house. So I probably will not have a whole lot of knitting to show next week either, because he keeps me busy when he's here. He'll be turning, well, actually the weekend after Thanksgiving, or the week after Thanksgiving, he'll be turning 2. I can't believe he's 2 already. I just can't. So, yeah, looking very forward to that little visit too. So, and then after that, the weekend after that, we will be heading to Rhinebeck. And we're going to 3 of the festivals at Rhinebeck. And I'm trying to like stay calm and focused and grounded for that, because that's a big festival. That's a lot. That's
Yeah.
huge. So,
Yeah.
yeah, might be an hour and a half show after that one for sure. So, okay.
Anyway, well, it's an hour and a half, but it's been 2 weeks. So,
yes.
and we're usually an hour and 15 minutes every week. So we're actually a little short.
It's an hour and 31 minutes right now. What are you looking at?
No. But I'm saying if we put the 2 weeks together.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I guess there's that way to look at it too.
That would have been 2.5 hours. We got another hour.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And so I'm also excited.
I gotta go put all this stuff away.
Yes. I'm also excited with my visit this weekend with Kendall, because as I've mentioned on here recently, Kendall has become a new knitter, and she just finished her first hat. So thank you, Carolyn, for your congratulations on that too. She did a great job. Her stitch definition was really good in it. Her stitches are even. I'm super impressed with how well she's doing. So I'm looking forward to giving her some goodies this weekend out of the Kelly's little personal yarn store down here, and getting her set up with she thinks she needs some more project bags now and things like that. So I'm looking forward to getting her all set up. But anyway, are we bringing a truck to Rhinebeck? No, we are only bringing a suitcase, Rosemary. We are flying.
We're going to have to be.
I imagine we can mail things home.
Naked.
We're just gonna have to like duct tape all the skeins to us for sure.
Well, I got some of the vacuum bags now that you got to take a vacuum cleaner and suck all the air.
Okay, we're not packing a vacuum cleaner with us to Rhinebeck.
Well, but maybe the hotel will have a vacuum they can lend us.
If things get carried away, there's an easy backup plan, because our friend Jenny is driving, and I'm pretty confident that we could have her ship it all home to us, and we would pay for the shipping. So, but we're not going to go there, because we're going to be very level-headed, Noelle.
Are we?
Yes, we are. So if you do see us at any of the festivals, as Noelle said, please grab us, flag us down. We would love to meet you. And we truly do mean that when we say it too. And it has been an absolute joy getting to know people through the podcast. That's all I have to say. It's we have made great friends through this, and friends that we would never have met without the podcast. So we are very fortunate to have this platform for sure. Yeah. So okay. We have to go. This is turning into the Canadian goodbye.
Okay. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope everybody has a great week, and so we will see you next week from Southwestern Ontario.
I know. We'll be back in the same city again. It'll be strange.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us, and happy knitting.
Happy knitting.